Okay, so Conan the Barbarian Mark Two. So we've had a first. So this is Southwest Sofa speaking. We had a bit of a false start last week because we ended up watching Conan the Barbarian, the remake.
Remix thing. Sorry.
But now we're gonna have another crack at it. I guess we'll do the quick spoilers. So I saw this about within the last 2 years, and typically I couldn't remember anything about it. And now I will, when I watch this, I will remember bits of it, but I'm still not that good on the memory. But obviously a classic. Um, yeah, when I watched it, actually, I was almost slightly disappointed because I remember it so well. I
Yeah.
remember thinking it was like the greatest film ever. So when I watched it again, I thought, oh man, it's not because I remember. So I was a bit harsh on it. But so I'll have now context for all the other films we've had in the series.
Yeah.
So we now have a proper ranking system to see how Conan fares. What about you, Humbre?
Yeah, not watched this for a while, it's got to be said. Um, just remember, again, with almost all of these, just really, really fond memories from back in the day.
Yeah.
Just looking at this, Arnie's arms
Ooh.
looking super big.
Yeah, like a melon, that thing.
Yeah, for real. But also, interestingly, it looks like a dwarven ruins on the back on the thing
Oh, yeah.
doesn't it?
Is this, cause this is a remastered one, isn't
Don't
it?
know.
That is definitely looks Middle Earth ruins, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Someone's definitely been a bit naughty there.
Anyways,
I bet that wasn't in 1980. What was this? Four?
possibly
Two?
2, 4.
Yeah.
Who
Anyway,
knows?
yeah, early 80s.
Yeah.
Right. So should we hit it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Excellent. Okay. So that was Conan the Barbarian, the original, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So so actually, I'll kick off, but that to me was a far better film. I mean, even aside from nostalgia, I thought for me that was so much better. I think what I really thought was the pacing was massively different. So you had, there's at the end there was a big fight, but it felt meaningful because I think the other Conan the remake, it was just like heads getting cracked every 3 seconds.
Yeah,
And actually, I felt like I don't know how long that film was, but to me, it felt like a lot happened. Obviously, you had
yeah.
Conan like village raided, Conan pushing the. We saw him like develop. There's a bit of backstory because in the other one, maybe we shouldn't compare it to Conan the other one because it feels. Maybe we should just talk about it. But
I feel we're doing it to service, to be fair.
well, maybe. But basically, in the all right, I'll try not to talk about too much. But in Conan the remake, he just went from kid to like finished article. This we saw the progression as a
Yeah,
gladiator.
yeah,
Completely forgot about the gladiator
yeah.
stuff.
And starting off as like, not even, oh, what am I here for? Why
Oh
is
yeah,
this,
yeah,
why is this
yeah.
guy looking at me with really sharp teeth?
Yeah, he was very naive at the beginning. It was lucky he didn't start with a knife fight because they would have been over.
Definitely.
Someone should have told him, "Hey,
Well,
hey Conan, you're
yeah.
you're in this for it's you or him."
Yeah, to
Yeah,
be fair though, he
that
was
was quite good.
spent the rest of his life before that just pushing a wheel.
True.
That's not that martial.
Yeah, not much training. But to be fair, he kind of did kill him by crushing him and but squashing him as if he were like
Yeah, that was
a
quite
log.
graphic as well, wasn't it? It was good. It was good. I think we were saying that I wouldn't necessarily trust Arnie to be able to pull his punches or or do the kind of dramatic fighting, as it were.
Yeah, I don't know, but so yeah, there was the. I mean, I actually saw this about 2 years ago or so, and I was a little bit underwhelmed by it because I had such high expectations that I kind of gave it a bit of a hard time. But now that I've been watching it in the context of all the other films, I think it stands up really well actually. And like I said, I was saying earlier, there's so much actually happened. Like then they went on that bit where they robbed the tower, and then like he killed that snake and all the rest of
Yeah,
it,
absolutely.
and he kind of had that. He got his group of companions together.
Yeah, and then they properly merged as a group then as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was like their kind of bonding kind of ritual, as it were. So, yeah,
And I think also like the magic was there was definitely like magical things, right? Because the guy transformed into a snake, and the snake arrow was pretty cool.
yeah, that was very cool.
And the witch that
But
he
also nice to see that it could be blocked as well, so it wasn't infallible. It wasn't like a magic missile. It could still be blocked because at the
oh
end
yeah
when he
yeah
shoots
you're
the
right.
thing there. So,
The kind of like steps ranger guy or whatever
yeah,
it was,
yeah,
he blocked him with his shield.
yeah,
That's true. But I did like the snake. I thought that snake arrow was pretty cool.
yeah,
Anyway, what about you? What stood
yeah. I
out?
mean, this is mortified to say that I clearly haven't seen this for a long time. There's lots of stuff I was like, but what about this? And you just kind of looking at me going, whatever. Um, So yeah, just that it's super good. There's so many different bits and pieces that are kind of classic, but actually they've done quite well. So like the finding the tomb and finding the sword and
Love the sword.
all the bits and pieces there, and then finding the other places and quite a lot. We talked as we were going through about there was a lot of stuff there where you had to notice things that were happening,
you're
rather
right.
than it kind of being thrust in your face.
Yeah, exactly. So it was the kind of like show don't tell, because it was like that was perfect, because you really remind me of that, because like when the wolves were chasing him and he fell down the tomb and he got the sword, the next scene he's jogging along in wolf pelts, right? I didn't say he killed the wolves,
Yeah, yeah.
but he just was then, So I think there was quite a few things of that. I think there was another bit which I can't remember that. Yeah, like the lady. One minute she was in with all the occultists or sneaking up on them. The next scene she was wearing the outfit, so she'd clearly like nobbled one of the cultists and dressed up.
Yeah.
So I think that was quite subtle, because they could have just really just said, "Oh look, here she is, like bopping her on the head and taking a kick."
Yeah,
but
yeah.
So I thought
It was kind of left, as you say, it was left to your imagination. It was
Yeah.
that kind of thing there to kind of go, oh, I wonder how she did that, or where she did things there. But you don't need to be spoon fed these things. Whereas
I think these
said
days
that
you
we
would.
didn't want to. That's what happens these days, isn't it? With the stuff there, where everything, if it doesn't happen, then if you don't see it happen, then it's not happened almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, but really good, really good.
I did really like the scene in the temple, because I did love the king on his throne, because all my like D&D spider sense were tingling, like what's going to go on? This it's got to be a trap. It's got to be a trap.
Has to be a trap. There's got to be loads
You
of stuff
can't
there, man.
You can't just get a super duper sword.
Grimtooth's got his stuff there, man. There's loads of stuff. The DM's got all of his books.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And actually, I've forgotten how it was actually reasonably gory when they some of it.
Definitely, and quite good as well. So like it wasn't. I mean, a couple of heads chopped off. That was fairly brutal.
Snake
and
head
they were really
off.
good right there. And the mum at the beginning, they you didn't see the head fall off, but it was the hair fell in front of the thing there.
Yep.
That was pretty good. And then the heads were spiked on pikes as they were leaving and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was
chopping the baddie's head off. That was kind of brutal. He kind of almost clubbed it off, right?
Yeah, definitely. That was super good. And also just the whole thing of a lot. Maybe aside from the snake and obviously the spirits that were over him as he was being healed, which I guess we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
But almost all of it was physical effects, as opposed to
true.
I mean, obviously it's from the time anyway. But we were talking about, the massive amount of cast that you needed, extras that you needed for when they were all going up to the temple and stuff. Just in that in all of those
cultists.
lines and stuff there. It was just one of those things you just go, wow, that was just like a proper big epic thing to be making those things.
They would have these days they would have just digited them in, right?
Yeah, for real. And sometimes that works.
Yeah.
Now we've got better technology now.
Definitely.
But like when you look at some of the stuff, back in a little bit further back, and shudder to kind of say about Star Wars Episode 1, but that stuff there is actually a bit rubbish. Whereas this stuff, with the physical stuff and then but also with the digital stuff nowadays, it can be a lot better. So
Yeah, I thought it held up pretty well. Like you say, I think you hinted at some of the digital stuff. I guess I don't know how they did it, but those ghosty things were a bit
they were drawn, didn't they?
Were they drawn on? Do you think?
It looked like it. I don't know.
I mean, I thought they were quite cool, but I think they were clearly they felt kind of patched in, didn't they? They weren't so good that you thought that was.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
They were kind of mystical.
At the time,
true.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
and I would have lost my shit to that.
But in a way, they were kind of outer world, so you could almost justify it.
Yeah.
But again, about the show and tell, you remind me when you're saying something there about we were watching them, and you said, "Is that a pig?" And then we realised it's a human body, and then later on they were carving it up. So there's some nice foreshadowing. Are you ready for any swords?
Well, I think the only thing I think because all of these things have kind of had various things happen to animals. So I guess like this time it was quite nice to see dogs not get killed or
not actually
act sleeping.
Yeah, true.
But the whole punching of the camel
Punching a camel, yeah.
Camel didn't even do anything, man. The guy's a bad drunk. He's a bad drunk.
No, it was Black Lotus, man. He was off his
Yeah,
head.
no, definitely, man.
Who,
Definitely.
who hasn't punched out a camel when they're out in
Black
Black Lotus?
Lotus, yeah, for real. True. To be fair, that is a thing. It is a risk.
It is.
I always just try and make sure I'm not around camels.
Yeah,
just because it's.
Just don't go to zoo, man.
Yeah.
Come here, you're looking at me. Give me the hump. Give me the hump. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised by how much actually happened in it, and
Yeah.
and I think the snake cult thing was pretty cool. And
But how much happened, but also how it was. It wasn't like a really rushed thing either. It didn't feel like it was rushed. Or almost at any point during the thing there, it didn't feel like it was rushed.
I think the narrator helped actually because that filled in the gaps.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, again, so I guess there was a lot of show, but don't tell. But then I guess the narrator did a lot of tell.
Yeah, yeah.
But it did I think it felt epic, and I like the fact that he actually got caught in the ziggurat. I forgot that, and they got nailed out. I thought the nailing was much earlier on. I thought after maybe the wolves they caught him and nailed him out. So he actually got close and then got nailed out, and then
I think as you're saying stuff there, like the magic, there was magic. There's very clearly magic around, but it's just not all the time.
Yeah,
and also the guy, the bad guy, kind of mesmerizing everybody.
Yeah, almost
that kind of
hypnotic.
snake-like type of thing there. So
I mean, weirdly, to me, you know, I always often say I want the plot to feel like there's an epic, you know, save the world. But in this case, it did feel epic, I thought, but it didn't really have high stakes. He just was trying to get revenge.
Yeah, no,
For
absolutely.
his family, but it still, I think, because it had such a journey from, you know, when they were just a kid, and then he was just like tooling around with his, being not tooling around, but being a gladiator. Why was he let free? Anyone?
Yeah, anyone know that? That would be interesting. We'd like to hear. I'd like to hear people's ideas on that one.
Yeah, I think he was just
Because he was making loads of money for his master. His master bought him.
Yep.
They weren't mates.
No.
He was, and it was literally there were times when they were throwing stuff at the coins and all and the gold goblets and all the other bits and pieces at his owner. So then why would his owner let him go? I don't know. Maybe I missed something.
Yeah,
But,
maybe just I quite like the fact we don't know. Maybe we didn't pay enough attention, but
Yeah.
maybe just felt like he'd earned his freedom. Who knows?
I don't know, man. If he's making loads of money, man, I don't.
That's because you're a swine, man.
Some kind of mercenary.
I'm not letting you go. You're working me forever.
This is it.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Okay, so for your high water line on this is
Oh,
Lady Hawk, possibly Krull.
Krull, yeah.
And
Although I would hasten to add,
yeah,
very, very different films.
definitely different reasons.
Yeah, for real. So
But you know what? I definitely gave it a bit of a hard time, but I don't know. Do you want to go first?
no.
Right. Okay. I think of all the films I've watched so far, strangely enough, I have to say that Hawk the Slayer keeps rising up in my weirdly because it's so weird and so cheesy. It keeps creeping. But
I love it.
I think for me this has to be the best film so far. I mean, I did like Princess Bride, but that's a different film to me. It's not. I watched it. I think I got into Princess Bride after the 80s. I think I came to like it more older because I think I started getting more of the jokes.
Yeah, there's a lot of adult themes.
Yeah, rather like, it's kind of it's got its, tongue firm in his cheek. Was this is like serious?
Yeah. This
So-
is serious fantasy.
Yeah, just to give myself some wiggle room on it, I'm going to give it 4 3/4 swords.
Ooh, 4 and a short sword and a dagger.
Yes, 4. Yeah,
Is that right?
something like that.
Probably works, doesn't it?
4 long. 4 3/4. I don't know what that is. Maybe a jeweled pommel. It's got a jeweled
Maybe
pommel.
it was the jewel that they stole at the beginning.
Yeah, one of
that's
those.
the thing
Yeah,
that's
there you
what
go.
makes it so good for you.
Got the eye of the snake on it.
Yeah.
So 4 3/4. I'm just going to leave room for a 5 just in case
Yeah,
somebody sneaks in.
That's probably a good call.
So I thought I really enjoyed that. I just thought it felt like so much was going up for episodic. Arnie, come on.
Yeah. And set up ready for the next one as well.
Yeah, there's always the
and that's I quite like that iconic thing at the end there as well, just where he's sitting like Grom as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
On the thing. So,
there's room for a sequel.
Yeah, definitely.
They do leave room for sequels in the 80s.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And there was a sequel in fairness.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Right. What about you, sir?
I think the same. This is a classic. It worked really, really well. I think just the general kind of pace and character and kind of the costumes, all the other bits and pieces were kind of pretty good, man. I quite enjoyed them all the way through, really.
Because costumes worked in this. I think in the other one we're not talking about again.
Yeah.
They've just felt kind of like they were trying too hard to be all different.
Yeah, for real. But then also try to copy some of the stuff that was in this as well, but not realise why they were copying it.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I think I'm going to go 4 long swords and a short sword. So just again, just kind of leave it at 4.5.
Not a dual pommel. It's fair enough.
I don't think so. No, I think just because there's other bits that kind of I think in my mind there's other ones that I'd probably rate a bit higher, just to kind of leave that open and stuff there. So
so
yeah,
you had to take one of these DVDs with you, Conan or Lady Hawk. It seems unfair to ask.
Oh, that is harsh, man. They're too different, man. You can't do that to me, man. To be fair though, this one does. There was lots of butts and stuff in the thing there, wasn't there? So
lots of what, sir?
Lots of butts and stuff.
Butts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm allowed to say other things there.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So yeah, this was classic 80s.
That's true. It does have that final tick that box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think we're saying there's some boobs. So,
yeah, that's essentially.
Tick.
Yeah.
So it's not a proper 80s fantasy film if that need is not met.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. Okay, so
and the 2 bad guys, they're pretty good as well.
I love the bad guys. I loved all the bad guys. They all had a bit of character.
Yeah.
They did kind of resembles like an 80s metal band, but
yeah, definitely.
Love the hammer. Love the hammer.
Yeah.
And I love the way when he whacked that column and he's like, "Oh shit! I've broken the boss's temple." He
got pretty annoyed that someone just killed one of his snakes, who might have been one of his relatives.
Yeah, true. That is true. He did transform into a snake. All right. Well, super duper. I thought that was really. Yeah, I'm glad I watched that again actually, and with fresh eyes.
So actually, my mistake was a good, positive thing.
That's true. It's almost like you did it by purpose.
Yeah, probably. If I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay. Has the Southwest Service spoken?
I think we have.
Okay, good. So, just one thing. Have you been thinking any more about your super cool, nickname?
No, I haven't. I've been super busy. So, I'll come up with something. Please, don't worry, everyone. Right. I know probably people are on the edge of their seats.
Let's just think. Let's pick a classic monster from. So we've got Rust Monster. Can I do anything with that? Gelatinous. I was going to say pube. That's horrible.
I watch a bit more than I used to as a kid, so I should be. No, I don't think that's a thing.
Americans have a thing called they have something called a rube, which I think is like a person who's like naive.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where it comes from. I think a rube, so gelatinous rube.
Is it someone that okay, yeah,
it's kind of like green.
Someone that you can sell snake oil to and stuff.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
All right.
I'm gonna stay away from that one for a bit.
Yeah, well, maybe not that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Maybe
obviously it has to be something like super cool. So maybe a Tarask or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be Tarask. Right. We'll have to.
We'll update.
UmberBulk. UmberBulks are pretty cool.
Yeah, UmberBulks are very cool.
I love UmberBulks. All right, we'll think of something with UmberBulk. All right, cheers. All right, I'm going to Southwest Circuit has spoken. So we're definitely, on average, 4 and 4.66 or something.
4.675.
Right, swords.
No, 4.625.
Right. Okay. So we got a long sword, a short sword with a dual pommel that maybe has a slight flaw.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
splint.
I mean, no leather bits left in or anything like that.
Yeah,
so,
true. Yeah, something like that. Okay, Southwest Tokyo has spoken.